Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Monday, April 11th, 2022. Jeremy Crosby here. Hope you had a wonderful day. How about those temperatures? Beautiful day in Fitchburg. Beautiful day in southern Wisconsin for sure, as we enjoy nice temperatures after what's been a washout, snowy washout. I think we've seen more snow this year than I don't know, than we care to, or even than the last like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeet. But yeah, we're drying out, looking out. It just still looks beautiful outside. And you have a couple days to get outside and enjoy these nice temperatures before storms move back in. And sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a cooler weekend for Easter. So that's kind of a bummer, but we'll take it. We'll take it on this April day. But we've got a busy show coming up for you, not just weather. We will talk about weather and what's going to change here coming up. Plus, we'll be talking about spring recycling. Spring recycling day was over this weekend. It was Saturday. And if you missed it, we'll take you out to that. Plus, we'll give you some other ways to recycle. If you missed the event, we'll have those details coming up. And we check in with our friends at the Better Business Bureau. Have you ever wanted to use one of those stock apps? I know Andrew and I haven't gotten into this yet. But if you're wanting to get into the world, we're going to dive into that and how maybe you could do it safely using stock apps and what to know before you start doing some trading. So all of that coming up here in the show. Busy show today. Let's get into the weather. And of course, if we get nice temperatures, there always seems to be repercussions of something. And the change from warm to cold means strong storms. Yeah. Chance for our first big severe weather event coming up here. And we've already had one earlier this season that produced a tornado. So we got to be ready here, right? So as it stands as of this morning, this is when we had pulled the information. It hadn't been updated when we went to do our show today, but you should keep checking back. But what we're seeing here is a strong storm system that will bring a risk of severe weather to the region on Wednesday. A line of storms is increasingly likely to sweep across the area Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. If enough energy is able to form ahead of these storms, then all severe weather hazards will be possible. That could be tornadoes. That could be hail. It could be wind damage. All of those are on the table. So we got to be cautious and be weather ready for Wednesday into Wednesday evening. We'll keep bringing you updates, of course, on the update, TF update, and the show as we approach Wednesday. And get ahead for Wednesday. Make sure you have that severe weather kit ready. Do you have one built? Well, here's a chance to get it going. Spring is here and it's bringing severe weather. Be ready in case it affects your area by gathering supplies for everyone, including your pets. Have an emergency plan and have multiple ways to receive those weather alerts. There's an example of a kit that you put together. My kit almost looks pretty close to that. I do need to switch out some of the food items, though. I was going to put like a rotating. That's the one thing that they got to talk about is rotating and checking out to make sure you have everything. But make sure you build those kits and be weather ready for Wednesday. All right, another news. Fitchburg Police Department updates us on an investigation that has led to charges and to federal indictments. Let's take a look here. Last week, a 28-year-old man was charged in Dane County Circuit Court following an investigation into a September 2021 shots fired incident. Alexander Jefferson Cooper was charged with second-degree reckless endangering safety, criminal damage to property, and intimidation of a victim with the threat of force. On March 9th, 2022, Jefferson Cooper was also charged federally with possession of a firearm as a felon. The investigation began following a citizen's report of damage to their vehicle on September 29th of 2021. Officers determined the car was in an apartment building, had been struck by gunfire in the 2300 block of Post Road. Investigators identified Jefferson Cooper as a suspect, and on October 5th, 2021, a search warrant was executed at the townhome on North Alpine Parkway in the Village of Oregon. In addition to Jefferson Cooper, Zadell Rolak, 25, was also taken into custody. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections wanted both men for violations of their extended supervision, and Rolak had an extraditable warrant through Minnesota. During the search of the resident, multiple firearms and narcotics were seized. The guns led to the March 9th federal grand jury indictment of Jefferson Cooper and Rolak for a felon in possession of a firearm. In addition to the new charges, both Jefferson Cooper and Rolak had their extended supervision revoked. by Wisconsin Department of Corrections. The Fitchburg Police Department was assisted by multiple law enforcement agencies during this investigation, including the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Dane County Sheriff's Office, City of Madison Police Department, the Village of Oregon Police Department, and the Wisconsin Department of Justice of Criminal Investigation. Good work on all of that from the police department and multiple agencies working together here to get that case wrapped up. All right, turning our attention to some activities coming up for the week. Let's start with this, CI Pediatric Therapy Story Time. We heard about this when we previewed this month's activities at the library. This is going to be happening on Wednesday, April 13th. Join a member of the CI Pediatric Therapy Center staff for interactive story time of books, songs, movements, crafts, and fun. This is geared toward children ages 2 to 5. It's at 10 a.m. at the Fitchburg Public Library. Happening over at the Fitchburg Senior Center starting next Monday, they will be having a falls presentation to keep you safe. It says here, according to the CDC, 1 in 4 adults has a fall each year in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin in the nation, but in Wisconsin, we lead the nation in fall-related deaths for people age 60 and older. That's not good. The good news is falls are not a normal part of aging and can be prevented. The Stepping On program offered by Safe Communities of Madison and Dane County has researched and proven to reduce falls by 31% and will take place at the Fitchburg Senior Center on Monday, starting April 18th through June 6th. They'll be skipping May 30th, Memorial Day weekend. But 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The cost is $35. We've previewed this and talked about this many times. It is a great resource for anybody who is at fall risk. We're all at it. So not just because of age, but we all have a risk of falling. So if you are interested, check in with the Fitchburg Senior Center to get yourself signed up. You can also register online at fitchburgwi.gov at the Fitchburg Seniors website. Then click on the registration tab. That's the big blue button. I like that. The blue button. Top of the page to register. All right, moving on to waterway cleanups. That's set for Saturday, April 23rd. Cleanups will be happening from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Dunn's Marsh, Corey Hill, Swan Creek, and Yarmouth Greenway. Volunteers are encouraged. The people's volunteers are encouraged to wear boots and bring gloves. Vest, bags, and gloves will be provided. Please be aware that the restroom facilities may not be available in some of the cleanup areas. I'm a big coffee drinker, so I would definitely need to put the coffee down for the cleanups. But either way, if you want to help out, more information is on our website at fitchburgwi.gov. We'll share the link. All right, you think you have it hard out there for working. This next story will prove that somebody has it harder than you for working. Check out this. Pruning and chopping is done all in is done in orchard. This is at Apple Garden. This is one of the most labor-consuming jobs on the farm. Every semi-dwarf tree, 2,200, and dwarf trees, 4,200, need to be pruned every year, Andrew. Every year. Then all the pruning are pulled out of the trees and chopped with a flail mower in the alleyway. That chopping of the sticks leaves a great amount of wood residue for the soil's microbes to chew. It is in quotes, chew. I like that. On the rest of the season, which is great for the soil health. By fall, you'll be hard to find you wouldn't even find those in the grass. We went there last year. Yeah, I would have never ever stepped on a piece of wood there as you're walking. But that's a lot of pruning. Your hands got to hurt after pruning all of that stuff. I'm just saying. All right, as we wrap up here, April is Donate Life Month, and I wanted to share this with you. 56% of Wisconsin driver's license and ID holders say yes to organ donation and have the life-saving orange dot on their driver's license or ID. Learn how you can register to become an organ and tissue donor when you renew your driver's license. And go to DOT's website for more information. But 56% of you say yes to doing that. So learn more about it. If you're not sure about you should or shouldn't, well, it starts with doing some research. We'll share the link as we do with all of our stories, so you can check that out. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about the Spring Recycling Day. It happened over the weekend, plus give you some more recycling tips where you can recycle your stuff. We're giving you spring cleaning tips. That's what it's all about, right? That's coming up next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. We were underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg in the Digest, and today we're going to be focusing on spring cleaning, recycling, and more. Over the weekend, we had our annual spring recycling event. It was held at City Hall on Saturday, and you folks showed up to recycle. Here's a look at your recycling.
Right now we are at the Fitchburg Civic Campus for our semi-annual shred and recycling event. We held this event last November for the first time in a couple of years thanks to the pandemic, but we usually do this once in Earth Month and once again in the fall. We have some confidential paper shredding, we've got electronics recycling, and also a med drop. So the electronics portion is run by Resource Solutions, the paper shredding is done by Pelletary Waste Systems, and then the police department handles the med drop. A pretty typical event, I can go based on what we had in the fall. We had over 5 tons of paper collected. We had, I want to say, between 15 and 20,000 pounds of electronics, and then we get around 50 to 70 pounds of expired, unused medications. The electronics recycling is really important because there's these items, there are materials that can be recycled rather than thrown away. It saves a lot of space in our landfills that are kind of running low on room before we need to find a new location for them. And you can also get some toxic materials in these electronics, and it's great to keep those out of the waste stream as well. Same with the medicine is that if you don't dispose of your medicine safely, some people will just put it in the waste and then that can leach into water. Some people will dump it down the drain, and for sure, if you dump it in the drain, that's going to end up in the water, and that can just create a lot of problems for ecosystems around here. I love seeing how many people come here, how excited they get to drop these off. It's a fantastic community event. We've got the Resource Conservation Commission involved in this. We have several alders here today, a couple of staff, and it's just a really cool community event that doesn't happen in a lot of cities. This month, we also have a waterway cleanup event on Saturday, April 23rd. So we're going to have, again, the Resource Conservation Commission is helping to lead a few groups that are going to be cleaning up some waterways around Fitchburg. Then on Saturday, April 30th, the day after Arbor Day, our Parks Division is going to be running a couple of tree and shrub plantings. If you go to the Fitchburg City website and search for waterway cleanups or search for Arbor Day, you should be able to find information on these. They're also listed on Fitchburg's Green Fitchburg webpage, where there is a list of Green Fitchburg events coming up. We are still taking volunteers for the waterway cleanup event. We have enough boxes to cover the 4 events that are going on, but they're definitely still taking volunteers at those locations. April is Earth Month, and April 22nd is Earth Day. And just like the last couple of years, the University of Wisconsin Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies is running an Earth Day event that will be free of charge. You can attend in person, or you can watch online. There's just a lot of really great speakers on the topic of water this year.
Phew. Thank you, Phil, for sharing that information. And thanks for everybody who helped out with the event and who recycled. That meant you kept all of those things out of the landfill, which is so important. And we want to stay safe. All right. So you have more recycling to do. You missed the event, or you just want to learn more about recycling in Fitchburg. I've got the details for you. Let's jump right into this. Recycling drop-off site. We have one, and that accepts yard waste, cardboard, scrap metal, white blocks, polystyrene. I said it wrong this morning, and I knew I was going to say it again. Yeah. Use motor oil, oil filters, and invasive plant species at the Public Works Maintenance Facility. That's located at 2373 South Fitchburg Road. By the way, this is open to Fitchburg residents during the daylight hours only. Surveillance cameras are in place, and violators dropping off unacceptable materials will be ticketed. We know who you are. Don't do it. All right. Acceptable materials. So we had the yard waste, and that's for non-invasive species. Place your yard waste in a container bunker, no brush larger than a thumb size in diameter. Remove from bags, reuse and dispose of those empty bags in the dumpsters near the yard waste area. Other stuff to be managed. The invasive species, place an invasive species bag in the dumpster. Mark yard waste bags, invasive plants, and empty oil containers. For more information on the invasive plant species, you can check that out at our website. Metal, remove non-metal parts, including rubber, plastic, and other fabric materials, and place in the metals only dumpster that is available for you. Moving on, cardboard. Please flatten the cardboard. That's probably the most dumpsters that are out there are for cardboard. You can place those cardboard in the only cardboard dumpsters. Do not leave recycling materials outside of the dumpsters. Motor oil, pour that right into the tank. Close the lid after use and discard your empty containers in the dumpster labeled motor oil filters, I suspect. And filters can be placed neatly in the drum. Close the lid and use after. All right, white block polystyrene. I can't, and I just can't do it, Andrew. It's just not going to happen. Polystyrene. He's helping me. You can place the white dumpster marked with that name. Break up as needed to fit. No packing peanuts. They're messy. We don't take them. So don't even try. Remember, you got the security camera there to remind you not to do that. And the prohibited items. We don't take dehumidifiers, carpet, construction materials, tires, furniture, appliance, electronics, or refuse. So if you're like me and you're like, well, where do I drop off that stuff? Well, we've got some information to help you. Here's a resource. On the website, there are links to all of these pages where you can drop off these specific items or how you can get rid of them properly. So we already talked about the recycling drop-off site. You've got the City Hall lobby recycling. We have some specific recycling items up there, like batteries. We have the light bulb collection during the holiday season, and more. Commercial refuse and recycling collection. That's your regular trash and recycling pickup. Construction and demolition I want to say refuse, but reuse and recycling. That is on our website. So if you're looking for those materials like construction, carpet, that sort of thing, that's that. Curbside recycling collection, learn about at the curb. We also have your recycling tips. There's a whole guide that they put out each year, they being Public Works. And of course, we had our recycling day event already. Wait for the fall one to come up, but you can find information about that right here on this page. And we can share the link to this page when we post up this later today. Finally, curbside brush and yard waste, because that's part of the cleaning season. We might even see or expect to see some storm damage maybe this week. So we'll have to watch out for that. But we had a collection last week as far as brush pickup goes. The next brush pickup and yard waste collection is coming up on the 18th, and that's April 18th through the 22nd, and then moves to May, and so on, so on, so on. Remember to have that at the curb 6:30 Monday of the pickup week to make sure that it does get picked up. And if you think you got missed, you can always contact Pelletary 608-257-4285. They have a specific page, by the way, on the website for you folks to check out related to the services in Fitchburg. So So we have those on our website, but Pelletary has a site for Fitchburg residents to check out, which you can find the link through our website at fitchburgwi.gov. And again, excuse me, thank you for recycling. We certainly appreciate your help keeping all this stuff out of the landfill. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, we check in with my friend, the Better Business Bureau. We're going to be talking about those stock apps. You ready to trade on an app? Well, we'll tell you how to do it safely next right here on TF.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining us from the Better Business Bureau here in Southern Wisconsin. Well, they're everywhere, but our friend Tiffany from Southern Wisconsin, she's here. She's here to help us. How are you doing first, Tiffany?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Hey, thanks for being back. And today we're going to be talking about stock trading apps, what you need to know before you trade. And I think a lot of people are getting into this now more than ever. I mean, I can remember the first initial commercials years ago where it was like actually putting it in your hands and doing something. Now it's like everybody's got a handle on it. So tell us what we're going to talk about today.
Stock trading apps have made buying and selling stocks easier than ever. And we all know some of the big names that are out there: Robinhood, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, the list goes on. But before you use them, we want you to educate yourself because there's a lot to know before you start playing the stock market. And it may be fun to invest a little bit of money and play with a buddy, but before you do that, you need to know exactly what you're getting into so you don't make any costly mistakes.
What would be some of the things that help get a better knowledge of investing on the stock market?
First of all, you can go ahead and learn more about the stock market at investor.gov. That's investor.gov. You also want to pick your trading app carefully. Do your research on that. Your trading app is going to serve as your broker. So you want to make sure that you're using a legitimate platform. There's a lot of illegitimate platforms out there. You want to make sure that you're familiar with the terms and conditions to that app too before you go ahead and start trading. Are you familiar with how the stock market works? It's super important. You don't want to get fined. You don't want to get restricted from using the apps because you made an innocent mistake. You want to make sure that you fully know how to use that app before you even get started.
What would you say for choosing a company? You know, I'm sure there's a bazillion companies out there that are offering these trading apps, but what should we look for in a company when we're choosing the right app for us?
Compare the apps side by side, compare the fees, the minimums, the stock analysis tools, and the educational offerings. There are some apps out there that'll offer you educational opportunities more than other apps. So if you're not real familiar with the stock market, you want to learn more, there's seminars, there's webinars. That's something that may be of interest to you. So look for those types of opportunities within the stock trading app.
All right, next one, and this seems like a Vegas term too, set a budget.
Set a budget and don't lose any more money than you can afford to lose. Similar to gambling, going to a casino, going to Las Vegas, only invest the amount of money that you can afford to lose. And before you go ahead and move on to bigger and better things, make sure that you're experienced and you're proficient with trading so you don't get caught in anything that will suck your money.
Absolutely. And understand, you've already kind of mentioned it, but understanding the rules of trading and stuff, so you don't get penalized, is so important on this. Know how to trade. Trading will affect your taxes. I wouldn't have even thought of this necessarily, but this is very important.
Yes, know how to trade. So if you purchase a stock and you sell it less than a year, you may be subject to capital gains taxes. You always want to work with the person who prepares your taxes to make sure that you're not doing anything to negatively affect your income at the end of the year.
Yeah, really important. Definitely ask if you got an accountant for your doing your tax, whatever. You may want to ask them before you get started in that for sure. This next one too. Getting some hot tips from somebody. Oh, you got to buy into this one.
The hot tips. So there's sponsored ads that'll show up, and those are designed. Sometimes they're legitimate. Other times there are scammers who purchase that advertising to lure you into a scam. So be very wary if you're going to participate in the sponsored tips, the hot tips. Watch out for scammers who are trying to get in touch with your money on these platforms.
And as investing, you keep investing in the learning part of this as well as recommendation from BBB.
It's always about continuing education, regardless of where we work. If we're playing with our money, the more you know, the smarter you're going to be. So invest in those educational opportunities that come along with the app.
And practice before you start. Maybe it's not a bad idea.
You know, this is a great opportunity to try out the stock market. There's virtual trading platforms where you can play along and not have to invest anything because you're playing with virtual stocks. So if you're a newbie at the stock market, you're kind of apprehensive about entering into it, losing your hard-earned money, go ahead and play with those virtual stocks until you're comfortable enough investing your real money.
All right, Tiffany, great information. If people want to learn more about the information you shared with us today, where can they find that?
Head on over to bbb.org.
Tiffany, thank you so very much for the great tips. I'm ready to hit the stock market.
Me too. Thanks.
All right, we'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, wrapping up the show. I want to thank Tiffany Schultz for the Better Business Bureau sharing those. I'm ready to do a little trading with Andrew's money, so we'll get that set up. You didn't see that coming. All right, let's take a look at where you can stay connected with Fact TV. Can't play with Andrew's money, I guess. That's what he said. Social media, cable TV, and streaming channels. Have a great day, everybody.